Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. If you're watching this video and it's Salah time, please pause it and go pray and come back when you're done. Please check out the description section of this video to support the channel. With Israel going even more extreme with their war crimes by blatantly killing medics, journalists and aid workers, the starving of civilians, and the countless Palestinian children with their heads missing due to the sheer size and frequency of the bombs Netanyahu is dropping on Gaza, courtesy of Donald Trump, the situation is looking increasingly bleak. And despite all of these ethical and humanitarian lines being crossed, pro-Israeli politicians, the Western media and bigot influencers are continuing to support and make excuses for the Zionist regime. Briahna Joy Gray hosted Norman Finkelstein to discuss the reason why Zionists believe they have the right to treat other human beings in such an inhumane and cruel manner. Let's take a look.
It's just a belief that everyone else has their own state. This is the rationale, which isn't true. I don't have a state. Where's the Black American country? Like, what are we talking about? That's like not true. Anyway, because it is so important for Jewish people to have this thing that everybody else allegedly has, even if there are negative consequences, those consequences are worth being borne by Palestinians. That is where we land every time. What you're describing is, in fact, Jewish people arguing for a standard that is different and apart and superior to what other people are actually getting on a regional basis and globally, because as I've said, everyone doesn't get their own state. And it's being justified frequently on the basis of this horrible tragedy that is the Holocaust, but which does not warrant doing the same to other people.
The problem is the Jewish supremacy. It's not just, yes, there is the chosenness aspect or the distorted understanding of the religious concept of Jewish chosenness. But I don't believe that's the main factor, because when I was growing up, very few people were religious. The example you just gave of, well, the state of Israel has to come into existence and some people are going to be harmed by it. Well, still, Jews need a state. It's because they believe it's more important because it's Jews, they're Jewish supremacists.
I feel like there is this kind of positive stereotyping with Jewish people that is like so internalized that as folks are making these arguments in favor of Zionism, they're really not hearing the exceptional standards that they're applying to one specific group that are in fact reflective of a superiority. And that's a very difficult thing to convey to people. But as someone who's been on the other side of that and the negative version of that, like, it's very clear to me. And I'm sure it's like extremely clear to every Palestinian person, an Arab person, and Muslim person that sees how casually people are able to justify unequal treatment on the basis of one's religious status or race or country of origin when you're brown and Muslim.
Briahna, as an African-American woman, knows firsthand the level of prejudice Arabs, Muslims and brown people experience. And Norman Finkelstein, as a Jewish man, knows firsthand how and why Jewish supremacists view others as less than. Briahna articulated how not everyone has a state, referring to her community as an example, to make the point that Jewish supremacists are not only being completely dishonest by demanding a Zionist state, but also that they are unfairly using the historical oppression of their own people to justify oppressing Palestinians. Briahna pointed out the utter hypocrisy and disgusting superiority complex of these positions, because what happened to Jewish people in World War II does not give them a license to do the exact same thing to Arabs and Muslims with impunity. I agree with her. World War II was a horrible tragedy for Jewish people, but they did not suffer that at the hands of Muslims or Arabs. It was German Christians who carried out a genocide and displacement of their people. It had nothing to do with Palestinians, hence why using that as an excuse is not only a cop-out, it's also disrespectful to the memory of those who lost their lives in the Second World War. Norman Finkelstein made the point that Jewish supremacy is not the result of just the chosen ones concept in their scriptures, as many Jewish people are not even religious, just like he isn't. He explained that it also has to do with an ego-based belief that Jewish supremacists think they are simply superior to other human beings, which is the most dangerous type of discrimination, as we can clearly see from the horrific events that have unfolded in Gaza and the West Bank, especially over the last couple of years. Let's watch the next clip where Norman Finkelstein calls out Bill Maher as being a prime example of this supremacy attitude.
Bill Maher's smugness, conceit, is just the face of insecurity. And it's the same with the smugness. Bill Maher just nauseates me. He's like the Pillsbury Doughboy with horn-rimmed glasses. I find him so unbearable. He's reciting the lines. He says, and he has to read. I thought you wrote those lines. You didn't write those lines. Your writers wrote those lines. That's why you have to read them, and you can't even read them correctly. So I open up Chuck Schumer's book, and he talks a lot about the genocide charge against Israel. If you read carefully, why is he opposed to the genocide charge? His main argument is it makes Jews feel bad. Jews feel like you're comparing it to what Jews went through during World War II.
Professor Finkelstein hinted that Bill Maher's smugness and arrogance are a reflection of his supremacist outlook. Bill Maher, like Norman Finkelstein, is also ethnically Jewish and an atheist. Norman stated that this uppity attitude hides the underlying insecurity of supremacists. I agree, but I would add that there is an inherent evil within these types of people also. I'm not saying all Jewish people are the same. Norman Finkelstein, Jeffrey Sachs, Gabor Mate, Aaron Mate, Katie Halper, etc., are some examples of Jewish people from the top of my head, who are normal human beings with empathy for their fellow humans. Add to that, the majority of Zionists aren't even Jewish. In contrast, Jewish supremacists like Bill Maher, Sam Harris, Rabbi Shmuley, Ben Shapiro, Benjamin Netanyahu and his cabinet, the list goes on, are extremely dangerous nutcases. Professor Finkelstein also confirmed Briahna's point that the oppression of Jewish people during World War II is being manipulated by Israel to justify the genocide they are committing in Palestine. He also made the claim that after reading Zionist Chuck Schumer's book, Norman concluded that Jewish supremacists simply don't like being charged with genocide because it makes them feel bad. So basically, calling out Israel for killing kids hurts their feelings. If that isn't supremacy in the most deranged sense, then I don't know what is. We are living in some dark, crazy and scary times where complete psychopaths are in charge and run the world. Shout out to Briahna Joy Gray and Norman Finkelstein for being courageous enough to speak up for truth and justice by giving a voice to the Palestinians. Please keep all the people in Palestine in your prayers. Thank you for watching. Make sure to join my free Telegram group via the link in the description, where we as Muslims can speak freely and without censorship about issues like this. And remember to like, subscribe and become a channel member for access to exclusive content. Until next time, inshallah, Jazakallah khair.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.